I'm John Cranton with JimFice.com. Going to take a look at the 2015 NFC East for this season. Boy, it's been an unpredictable division of late. Let's go back to 2009. Dallas Cowboys won the division, followed by the Eagles, Giants, Redskins, Eagles, and then Dallas last year again. It's a division stocked with rebuilding and retooling teams in very different styles as well. That's why Vegas has projected win totals between 6 and 9.5. We're going to start off, though, with a surprise team that should do fairly well in bounce-back mode, and that's the New York Giants. Vegas has them at 8 wins. Giants are off a bad season of 6-10 straight up, 7-9 against the spread. In fact, back-to-back losing seasons, dealing with a lot of injuries. The offense last year ranked 7th in the NFL in passing, 267 yards per game, 23rd in rushing behind a banged-up offensive line. That's why offensive tackle Eric Flowers is aboard, 6'6", 329 pounds, first-round pick out of Miami. They're going to need Will Beatty to bounce back after a summer injury, too. Still, even with their problems, the line only allowed 30 sacks, and they've loaded up on this offensive line the last few years with youth, depth, and talent to get guards John Henry and Jeff Schwartz still here, plus center Weston Richburg. He was a second-round pick in 2014 out of Colorado State, and former Syracuse offensive tackle Justin Pugh was a first-round pick back in 2013. Now, running back Rashard Jenkins, he's no breakaway threat with 639 yards, only 3.8 yards per carry, and the same goes for second-year running back Andre Williams, 721 yards, but just 3.3 yards per carry. Passing game, though, is really strong with newcomer running back Shane Vereen. He's off a terrific season with the Patriots and a great Super Bowl, too. And then you got 34-year-old quarterback Eli Manning recovering from an ankle surgery, but still he had 30 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, over 4,400 yards passing. He's got wide receiver Victor Cruz. He's got wide receiver Odell Beckham, who had over 1,300 yards receiving, forming a dynamic duo. And you might as well throw in wide receiver Ruben Randall out of LSU, who stepped up with 938 yards. This passing attack is going to lead the way and should be extremely potent. Now, the defense of the Giants was actually pretty good 2 years ago, but boy, did they fell off the map last year. They ranked 29th in yards allowed, 25 points per game. That ranked 25th. So you got new defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. He comes back. He was actually here a couple of years ago when they won a Super Bowl, and he inherits a unit that was 18th against the pass, but 30th against the run. Defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul, he had 12.5 sacks, but he seemed more focused on sacks than stopping the run, which is probably going to change for this year. Plus, J.T. Thomas figures to start at weak side linebacker. Started 10 games for the Jaguars last season, and the Giants need more athleticism at linebacker, and they hope that Jonathan Beeson can bounce back from an injury that wiped out his season last year. He was very productive a couple of years ago with Carolina. Now, the secondary has Dominic Rogers, Cromartie playing every game last year, plus Prince Amakamara. They got Mike Harris, Chicky Brown, and Chandler Fenner. Plus, you've got a new safety in Landon Collins. He was a second-round pick out of Alabama, so they should be significantly better. Now, the weak spot the last couple of years has been road play. Last year, 3-5 straight up and against the spread. They're going to open at Dallas, a big rivalry game. They got 3 of 4 games at home. Giants get the bye in Week 11, which is a nice plus. And then when you look at their road games, Bills, Saints, Bucks, Dolphins, Vikings, really not that bad. Giants are on a 10-6 run over the total. We're going to take a look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Vegas has them projected at 9 wins. Now, Chip Kelly, he really impressed in his first year, bringing in the no-huddle attack from college. They went 10-6 that year, and then last year followed it up with another 10-6 winning mark, but missing the playoffs. The offense has been terrific since he's been here. 6th in the NFL in passing last year with 272 yards per game, 9th in rushing, 124.5 yards per game, and they were 3rd in points, 29.6. However, there are some key changes on offense for 2015. 26-year-old quarterback Nick Foles, he was shipped out for 27-year-old often injured quarterback Sam Bradford. Bradford, the last couple of years, 35 touchdowns and 17 interceptions is very good. The last 2 years, 23 starts, missing 8 games. That's the key with him. And when you look at the backups, Mark Sanchez, Tim Tebow, Matt Barkley, they don't really add much fear to opposing defenses. Now, they do add 27-year-old running back DeMarco Murray off a monster season with Dallas, over 1,800 yards rushing, 4.7 yards per carry. Changes at wide receiver as Jeremy Maclin. He's gone, so Jordan Matthews is going to be asked to step up, but he had 872 yards last year, and they like tight end Zach Ertz with 702 yards, and they add rookie wide receiver Nelson Aguilar from USC. He was the 20th overall pick. Now, the offense is going to be potent and balanced, unless, of course, Bradford comes up lame again. Now, the defense was, when you run that kind of up-tempo offense, your defense is going to be weak, and they certainly have been. 31st against the pass last year, 15th against the run, so they made some changes. They add very talented 25-year-old linebacker Kiko Smith from the Buffalo Bills. He actually played with Kelly at Oregon. He joins linebacker Connor Barwin, who had 14.5 sacks, and defensive end Fletcher Cox chipped in 4 sacks. When you're in this 3-4 defense, you need speed at linebacker, and they're adding some depth. Plus, they do like second-year defensive end Marcus Smith, a power guy with plenty of speed, agility, and upside. Now, the secondary, Kelly decided to ship out 3 of 4 starters, so the secondary has a brand new look, starting with Byron Maxwell. He comes over from the NFC champion Seahawks. Plus, he's got safety Malcolm Jenkins aboard, along with rookie cornerback Eric Rowe. Eagles, no surprise, for totals players, 10-5-1 run over the total. This team is on a 26-15-1 run over the total. Also haven't been covering numbers the last couple of years, 20-28-1 against the spread. The road schedule, though, is a bit tough for the Eagles. They're going to be playing at the Falcons, Jets, Panthers, Dallas Lions, and even the Patriots. They do play 5 of their first 8 games on the road. Dallas Cowboys, Vegas has them looking very good with 9.5 wins, but I wonder about this defense too. May take a step back, because before last year's terrific campaign of 12-4, this team was just 8-8 over 3 consecutive seasons. Anyway, Dallas off a terrific year, 13-5 straight up, 12-6 against the spread. Oddly, they were just 4-4 straight up in ATS at home, but they were incredible, 8-1 straight up, 9-0 against the spread on the road. That's going to be very tough to duplicate. They even won at Seattle, 31-21. Now, the offense was extremely balanced, number 2 in the NFL in rushing with 147 yards per game, 16th in passing, and they were 5th in the league in points with over 29 per game. However, they lose running back DeMarco Murray to the Eagles, and there's really not much left. Darren McFadden is there. They do like young running back Joe Randall, only 343 yards, but an impressive 6.7 yards per carry behind this terrific offensive line. 35-year-old quarterback Tony Romo did not have to carry the load, and he was better because of it. 34 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, over 3,700 yards passing, and he was only sacked 29 times. So overall, this should be a balanced and potent attack, and if they have to pass more with Romo because of a lack of production with the ground game, that's fine too. Look at the weapons they have. Terrence Williams, tight end Jason Witten, and Des Bryant, who had over 1,300 yards and 16 touchdowns. Now, the defense really haven't been very good. Even last year, this team ranked last in the NFL in 2013. They improved a little bit last year, 26th against the pass, 8th against the run under new coordinator Rod Marinelli, and they used their first 2 draft picks to help this defense. Cornerback Byron Jones and linebacker Randy Gregory come aboard to help the defense. Now, they only had 30 sacks last season. Some good news is that talented linchpin middle linebacker Sean Lee is back. He was here last year but missed all of the season because of an injury. The secondary is marginal. Cornerback Orlando Scandrick, and then you got Morris Claiborne, who still really hasn't justified the decision to draft him number 6 overall back in 2012. Then you got the schedule going to open with the division rival Giants. They got some tough road games, though. Saints, Bucks is going to be easy, but then you got the Dolphins, Packers, and that great Bills defense. All in all, this offense looks very good, but still have to wonder about the defense, especially when Vegas has them projected at 9.5 wins. That is a lot to ask of a team with some question marks, particularly in the secondary. Keep in mind, Dallas, 15-11-1 run over the total. Finally, in last place, got to look at the Washington Redskins. Vegas has them projected at only 6 wins, and that makes perfect sense because they won a division 3 years ago. The last 2 years, absolute train wrecks, 3-13, and then last year 4-12 straight up, 5-11 against the spread. It was a disaster. In fact, the last 2 years they've been outscored by 144 and 137 points. Both were worst in the NFC. 48-year-old coach Jay Gruden didn't have a very good first season, but he is back. Now, Washington ranked 19th in the NFL in rushing with over 105 yards per game, and they want to get back to basics rushing the football. And so they drafted Brandon Scherf out of Iowa, first-round pick, number 5th overall. They still have 25-year-old quarterback Robert Griffin. He's already been named the starter, but had 4 touchdowns and 6 picks in an injury-plagued campaign last year. Meanwhile, the passing game was very weak last season. And as a backup, you got Kirk Cousins, more of a drop-back passer, but he had 10 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, which is why they're making a lot of changes on the offensive line. Why is that? Well, the Redskins allowed 58 sacks last year. Running back Alfred Morris, he's probably going to benefit from the offensive line shuffle. He had just over 1,000 yards rushing, but slipped to 4.1 yards per carry. And they're trying to get some help for speedy wide receiver Deshaun Jackson. He had over 1,100 yards, so they took rookie wide receiver Jamison Crowder out of Duke. They still have wide receiver Pierre Garcon. He's going to be 29 years old when the season starts. But he went from over 1,300 yards receiving 2 years ago to almost half that last year, 752. And they like young tight end Jordan Reed with 465 yards. Now, the defense, major problems the last couple of years. Last year, they were 24th against the pass with 249 yards per game, 12th against the run, just over 106. But they ranked 20th in total yards and 29th in points allowed, 27.4 points per game. So changes are in store. They're bringing in mammoth nose tackle Terrence Knighton, a pretty good fit for a switch to a more of a one-gap scheme, although they're going to stick to that 3-4 scheme. Plus, he's teamed with Stephen Paya up front. Linebackers, though, aren't that impressive outside of Keenan Robinson. They have a lot of youth that they're bringing in, too. The starting secondary has Chris Culver and Bashard Breeland joining safety Dashawn Goldston with a below-average group. Now, the road schedule for Washington, not pretty at all. They're going to be at Atlanta, the Jets, the Patriots, the Panthers, and the Bears. They're going to end the season playing 3 out of 4 games on the road. Just too many holes to this team. Got to look for a last-place finish for the Redskins again. Now, if you're looking for college football and NFL previews, you can go to jimfeist.com for top plays from the nation's top handicappers, as well as articles, free picks, and newcomers who sign up to the site. Free membership, you get a $50 bonus right into your account. Check it out at jimfeist.com.